kids, welcome back to bio class. Today in this video we are going to learn about the structure of seed. As you remember, in the last video we have discussed about the structure of seed, what is seed, and also in brief we have also discussed about what is monocot and dicot. So there are basically two types of seed. The two types of seeds are dicot and monocot. Dicot means those seeds which are having two cotyledons, and those seeds which are having one cotyledon, they are called monocot seed. Okay. So first we will discuss about the dicot seed. And if you can you see in your book page number 32, the diagram of dicot and monocot seed is given. At the same time, the various parts are also labeled. Okay, so here also I have drawn the diagram of dicot and monocot seed. First we will try to learn about the structure of dicot seed. You can see I have drawn the structure of bean seed and the various parts of the bean seed. When you see, when you soak the bean seed and you just open it, then you will find that the bean seed can be opened into two flaps, two leaves. Okay. Then outer part is the seed coat. Now this seed coat is again having two layers. The seed coat is made up of two layers. The outer layer, the thick one, is called the testa, T-E-S-T-A, and again in inner layer, the thin layer, which is called the tegmen. Okay, so the seed coat, you can see here, the outermost layer is the seed coat, which is made up of two layers, that is testa and tegmen. Testa is the outer layer and tegmen is the inner layer, which is thin. Okay, then we come to the next part. This is called the cotyledon. What is cotyledon? Cotyledon is the fleshy part, okay, which stores the food, and this food is being used by the seeds or the baby plant for their germination, for their growth. Fine. So in case of dicot, how many cotyledons are there? There are two cotyledons. This is one cotyledon, another one is just the side one. Okay. Now here you will see there are again two parts. One is hilum. Now what is hilum? Hilum is the part with which the seed is attached, and just above the hilum you will find a small hole which is called the micropyle. Okay. Now we come to this fleshy part, that is cotyledon, which stores the food for the baby plant, and also this food only we eat. When the seed grow, this is also a seed, bean is a seed actually, and we eat that fleshy part. This is the starch. Okay, they store the food here, and this is being used, the same part we are using for our edible purpose. And when this seed is sown in the soil, then when this seed is growing or germinating inside the soil, then this two cotyledon is only helping the embryo. Embryo is the baby plant. Okay, over here you can see the embryo, and embryo is the baby plant, which again contains two parts. One is, you will find there is one part which is moving towards the soil, towards the ground. This is known as radicle, which will further grow or develop the roots. And there is one more part which is moving upward, and it will come out from the soil and it will grow into shoot system. Okay, and it is called plumule. P-L-U-M-U-L-E, plumule. Okay, so radicle develops into roots and plumule develops into what? It develops into the shoot system, means stem, and then it bears the other parts. Okay, so this is the basic structure of dicot seed. So again I am just revising it. Dicot seed is having two cotyledon. Okay, the structure of dicot seed has various parts. First, the outermost part is called the seed coat, and seed coat is again having two layers, which is testa and tegmen. Testa is the thick part, okay, which is at the outermost layer is called the testa, and just inside there is a thin layer which is called the tegmen. Okay. Now again in this seed you will find there's a part which is called hilum, and this hilum, like this seed, the fruit of the seed is attached to the hilum, and just above the hilum we will find, here you cannot see the hilum and micropyle, but in case of monocot seed it is very much clear. Okay. So the micropyle from where the water is being absorbed, this is a small pore from where the water is absorbed for its germination and growth. Fine. Then we have the two cotyledon. Now cotyledon is what? Cotyledon is the fleshy part, okay, which stores the food for the baby plant and as well as like for us to eat. So in case of dicot seed we have two leaves, two cotyledons. Okay. Then again inside the seed only we will find a embryo. Embryo is what? The small baby plant which is growing. Now in embryo we will find the two parts, that is one part is moving towards the ground which is called the radicle, and it develops into root, and another part which moves upward which is called plumule, and it develops into shoot system for in future. Okay, so this is your dicot seed. Now we come to the monocot seed. Mono means one. Seed which has only one cotyledon. Means just now we have discussed what is cotyledon. Cotyledon is the fleshy part which stores the food. Okay. So you can see here I have drawn the diagram of a maize. Now maize is a monocot, and like monocot seeds, what are the other example of monocot seed? The other example of monocot seeds are all the type of cereals, the grains, and also the grasses. Okay, they are also monocot seeds, right? So we are discussing about maize, which is a monocot seed, and we will discuss about its structure. Okay. So here you can see this outermost layer. Now in this case we have seed coat, but in these we don't have seed coat. The seed coat, that is testa tegmen, is fused with the pericarp. Okay, and then we have this pericarp. Just after the pericarp inside there is one more layer which is the this is the food for the plant. Okay, food for the seed. So this is aileron layer. Okay. Now what is aileron layer? Aileron layer is a thin layer that separates the this is the endosperm. Endosperm is what? Endosperm is the outermost layer of the seed. Okay. So endosperm, and here it is embryo. Embryo, what did I say? Embryo is the baby plant, from which the new baby plant is going to develop. So this aileron layer is separating the endosperm, that is this outermost layer, and the baby plant and the embryo. Fine. Then we have in embryo only, like you will see, of course here also we have plumule and radicle. Fine. Now you will find there are again two parts. One is called coleoptile, another is coleorhiza. Now these are the protective layer of plumule and radicle. Now coleoptile is protecting the coleoptile is protecting the plumule, okay, which is growing up, and coleorhiza is protecting the radicle. Fine. Then we have here, you can see this part, this is called hilum. Now in dicot also we have hilum, but here the hilum is very much clear. This is hilum, and just above the hilum we will find, you can see here, hilum is shown here, and then hilum is what? Hilum is the part from which or with which the seed is attached. Okay, seed is joined. And then just above the hilum we will see the micropyle, and from the micropyle, as I said, the seeds, they absorb water, minerals for their growth and development. Fine. So this is monocot seed. So in monocot seed we have seen there is no seed coat. The endosperm is fused with the pericarp. Okay. The seed coat, if you try to peel off the maize seed, you will not be able to do that because the endosperm is fused with the pericarp. Now what is pericarp? Pericarp is the layer, the outer layer of the like seed. Now pericarp is again having three layers. That is, one is epicarp, the outermost layer, then mesocarp in the middle layer, and the endocarp. Endocarp is the the coat of the seed. Okay, the outer coat of the seed. So that is endocarp. Now this pericarp is fused with the endocarp. Okay, then this aleurone layer is a layer which is separating the endocarp and the embryo. Fine. Then we have, in the embryo we have again that plumule and radicle are present. Now this plumule and radicle are being protected by coleoptile and coleorhiza. Coleorhiza is protected is a thin sheet which protects the radicle, and coleoptile is a protective layer which protects the plumule. Okay. So this is the structure of monocot seed, and now we will learn about the basic difference of monocot and dicot. Now from the word monocot and dicot we have learned that in monocot seed the cotyledon will be one, there will be one cotyledon present, and in dicot seed the cotyledon will be two. So here you can see monocot will be, sorry I have written wrong, it will be, so we are going to point out certain difference between dicot and monocot seed. So you can see here in dicot seed there are two cotyledons, and in monocot there is only one cotyledon. Okay, cotyledon I explained you, that is the fleshy part, okay, which stores the food. So next point is in dicot the cotyledon is fleshy and it stores the food, whereas in case of monocot the dicot the cotyledon is very thin and it does not store the food. Okay. Now in case of dicot the endosperm is absent. In case of dicot the endosperm is absent here. Endosperm is absent, whereas in case of monocot the endosperm is present. Okay. And what happens? There are few more differences. That is, in case of dicot, coleorhiza and coleoptile is absent. Here we cannot see the coleorhiza and coleoptile. Whereas in case of monocot, we find the coleorhiza and coleoptile. That is, they are the protective sheath of radicle and plumule. Right? Then aleurone layer. In case of monocot, we can see aleurone layer is present, and in case of dicot, aleurone layer is not present, or we can say it is absent. And example of dicot seed, there are so many examples, like all the bean seed, grams, then even some pulses also, they are coming under dicot seed. And in monocot we will take all the cereals, grasses, maize. Maize is also coming under cereals. So they are the example of monocot seed. Okay. So here we complete the basic structure of seed and the explanation of dicot and monocot seed. So I think in the last class I told you to draw the diagram of dicot and monocot seed. If you have not done, please do it, and based on that you will find exercise for revision. You see in page number 33, exercise for revision, there are 1, 2, two questions are only there, A and B. One is tick the correct option, another one is state whether the following statements are true or false, and rewrite the following false statement. So you can write just beside it only, you don't have to write in the copy, you can write in the book itself the correct statement. Okay. So this is the work which you have to do, and please do read the topic also, so that if you have any doubt you can clarify your doubt in the comment box. Also you can write to me, also you can write me in the, like, you can send me the mail if you have any doubt. Okay, so in the next class we will be starting with the last topic, that is germination, and it's very important and interesting topic. So till then, just keep learning and take care. Bye bye.